So it's been a few years since the previous series of Happy Valley, and I am so excited to see it back. I have been watching the first two series over the course of the Christmas holidays, and I'm all refreshed on what's going on. In this video, I want to talk about the Series 3 premiere, and specifically I want to talk about the religious references that have been recurring throughout the show, and who could possibly be going with Ryan to prison during his visits with Tommy. But before we get into that, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. You can always unsubscribe or later date if you don't like what I'm posting. It's completely free, and no hard feelings if you want to go at a later date. Right, anyway, showtime.
It's showtime, folks.
We start with this beautifully atmospheric shot of Catherine driving through the countryside in fog. It's gorgeous and it gave me this really warm and cozy winter feeling. One of the constables calls Catherine about someone they call a phantom fridge thrower. Someone has dropped a microwave on his car from one of the flats. I hoped the entire season would be dedicated to investigating the phantom fridge thrower, but I'm worried now that it'll just be a mystery. Nothing more than a passing villain, like the hash-slinging slasher. Or it'll all be connected and we'll see them come back to this. It could go either way. Is that Jack from Bread? Or Ron from Goodnight Sweetheart? This man is such an underrated actor. He recently had a role in The Crown as the man with no lines who accidentally intercepted that phone call between Charles and Camilla. It wouldn't surprise me if this was him. He does adverts and everything. For some reason you'd think he'd get better roles than this. I love the place where they shot the opening scene, where Catherine investigates the body parts scattered everywhere. It's all so gloomy and beautiful. Look at this quarry. It's so nice. I'd be surprised if classic Doctor Who hasn't been filmed here at some point. But yeah, they found a body in the concrete. There was a scene in Series 1 where Lewis was freaking out to Ashley and asking if the higher-ups in the drug thing could help them. And Ashley mentioned someone being thrown into the dam in concrete underpants. This is that guy. What a brilliant callback. This series is going to bring everything together, isn't it? She's wonderful, Sarah Lancashire. She's in one of my favourite films of all time as the Scouse Woman. Tommy Lee Royce is back. They're charging him with another murder. He's got a very Jesus look to him instead of the 90s Justin Timberlake look he was going for in Series 1. The stitches on his head even resemble a thorned crown, like the one Jesus wore. It's interesting because Happy Valley has always played with its religious references. In the first episode of Series 1, Ashley tells Nev to call him God, giving us the idea that the villains are God, the rulers of the show. But then this is opposed in the second series, where Anne claims that Catherine is the one true God. Not to mention the fact that Tommy has a cross tattooed to the side of his head. So there's a lot of religious talk going on here, and it'll be interesting to see where it leads. They talk about how Tommy was wearing a St. Christopher's necklace when he left prison the first time. Another religious reference. And they show it to him in an evidence bag. So the reason why Tommy is being accused of another murder is because he confessed to it to someone in prison. They're going after him for it because someone snitched, and now they've found evidence to back her up. We then cut ahead to 6 months later, where Ryan is played by Morgs. Okay, not really, but he sounds exactly like him and it looks a bit like him as well.
He's blind! Never a golden opportunity! I've already been eliminated!
I feel bad for Catherine. She probably has to endure so many pause challenges.
Pause!
Honestly, this wasn't where I was expecting them to take the series. I expected them to get Tommy Lee Royce out of prison on a technicality or something, like missing evidence, so there'd be a big threat for the final season of the show. Catherine references how Greta Thunberg had to kick off her for something. She better heed the warnings because the last person that Greta kicked off at ended up in prison. Morgs and his mate pull a Yo Mama joke.
Hey look, it's Joe. Who the hell's Joe? Joe Mama.
The writers certainly are up with the memes, aren't they? Oh god, I need to stop calling him Morgs, or I'll be calling him that for the rest of the show. Ryan Morg. His name is Ryan, not Morgs. There's this teacher at Ryan's school that is trouble. His name is Rob, and he abuses his wife and kicks off at Ryan for making a joke. I mean, we already know he's a loser because he teaches PA, but he proves that by acting up so much. You know what they say? Those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, teach PE. That's what School of Rock taught me anyway. As bad as this Rob is, the only plus side to him is that he isn't a nonce. Unlike every PE teacher who taught at my old school. Unrealistic Happy Valley. Catherine goes to Rob's house after he calls the police for his wife buying drugs. She notices a padlock on the fridge and how he is wearing expensive clothes while she is bruised and wearing Primark. Her investigation skills are tingling. Spider Cop is about. I genuinely hate this Rob fella. You can just tell he's the kind of bloke who beat his wife after Harry Kane missed that penalty. Catherine places Rob's wife, Jo, under arrest for buying drugs. All this is told through the narrative of Catherine and her sister chatting over a cup of tea. It's a new thing for this show, but it's a wonderful way to tell a story, and it's a perfect combination of warm and tense. This is such a good show. Rob gets his kids ready to school and, oh no, he's got one of those loud cars. If you have a car and you think that it making loud, obnoxious noises is cool, then you're a loser. You're up there with NFT bros and people who listen to Andrew Tate. Get a life. This fella here learns from his kids that Jo was arrested, so he sneaks over to her house to find out the details. He's the one who gave her the pills and he's paranoid about the police finding out about them. And he's a chemist, of course he is. I like how this series is bringing it back to drugs, because it was a big storyline in the first series and it seems like all the dots are connecting and leading to an epic conclusion. Jo asks for more pills and he gives them to her. It seems like they're sleeping together in exchange for the pills. An affair in Happy Valley? Unheard of. You'd think he would have seen the other 2 seasons and realised that you can't have an affair in this town. I love the banter between Catherine and Joyce. One of the standout moments for Series 2 was when she gave Joyce that small cactus to apologise for being prickly. Wherever these two want to riff about, I'm here for it. Tommy has this photograph of Ryan in his prison cell. It's a bit of a weird photo, isn't it? Yeah, let me just take a selfie with this tree. That's a Kodak moment right there. Catherine's boss tells her that Ryan has been visiting Tommy, his dad, well, biological dad, in prison. Series 2 ended with Ryan sending him a letter, so it seems like he has been secretly visiting his dad for a while now. He's said to have been accompanied by a man and a woman. Catherine is wrecking her brain as to who could be going to the prison with Ryan. They talk about whether Nev could be the one going with Ryan, but then they decide that he wouldn't do that. Or rather, they say that Nev would never do that. It's in his name. It's a bit of a mouthful. 2 blokes come in and threaten the pharmacist. They're making him sell drugs to people and then give them the money. This is definitely the fella who killed Ashley in Series 1, isn't it? That's probably the same gun and everything. I'm calling it now. He and his mate were riding the motorbike in the Series 1 finale. He killed him. I genuinely didn't think the pharmacist was going to make it through the first episode, if I'm being honest, so good on him for surviving this long. And then we end with Catherine's boss telling her that he got news she wouldn't be happy with. Could he have a description of the people that Ryan is going to see Tommy in prison with? And who could it be? Who's going with him? Claire and Neil? They wouldn't, surely. Richard and Roz? Maybe. Richard looked ever so slightly shifty when Catherine was talking about it. It was subtle, just a flicker of a look on his face, but I'm not sure. Or could it be Anne and Daniel? After all, it was referenced they were going skydiving in Sheffield, around the dinner table. Tommy was transferred to Sheffield. Who could it be? It won't be Anne. She was raped by Tommy, there's no way she'd go. I don't know. What do you think he's about to tell her? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested in what you think about it. Right, don't forget to stick around for the meme of the day at the end of the video. If you've got this far and you've enjoyed it, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing. You can always unsubscribe at a later date if you don't like when I'm posting. It's completely free and no hard feelings if you want to go at a later date. Right then, this is the meme of the day. Right, I'll let you go. Bye.